We have a strange habit in how we perceive reality. We talk about the worlds as if we're just guests visiting it. We look at the stars, observe the storms, or study subatomic particles as if they are separate entities existing out there. Well, we exist in here. There is us, the conscious observers, and then there is the universe. A vast, indifferent physical machine. But if you look at the raw data of physics, that boundary starts to dissolve. There is no physical border where you end and the environment begins. The oxygen in your lungs was part of the atmosphere minutes ago. The carbon in your DNA was forged in the core of a dying star, billions of years ago. If we aren't outside observers looking in, what exactly are we in this system? To understand that, we have to look at the history of how the universe began to build its own eyes. For the first few 100 million years after the Big Bang, the cosmos was a silent, dark ocean. This period is known as the Cosmic Dark Ages. The universe was filled with hydrogen and helium, but it was essentially a massive system with no sensory output. It was governed by gravity and thermodynamics, but there was nothing complex enough to perceive those laws. The universe was effectively blind. Everything changed with the birth and death of the first generation of stars, the population 3 stars. These were giants, hundreds of times more massive than our sun. They lived fast and died violently. Inside their nuclear furnaces, the universe performed its first act of alchemy. Through stellar nucleosynthesis, it fused simple hydrogen into the complex elements: carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and iron. When these stars exploded as supernovas, they scattered these elements across the void. Every atom that makes up your brain, your hands, and the device you're holding was forged in those explosions. We often hear the phrase, "We are star stuff," but we rarely consider the implication. The universe spent billions of years manufacturing the specific materials required to build a nervous system. It was preparing itself to wake up. This leads us to one of the most unsettling theories in modern physics. The legendary physicist John Wheeler proposed a concept called the participator universe. Wheeler was fascinated by a fundamental rule of quantum mechanics, the observer effect. In the quantum world, particles like electrons don't exist in a single definite place until they are measured, or observed. Before that, they exist in a superposition, essentially a cloud of mathematical probabilities. Wheeler took this to its logical, cosmic conclusion. He sketched a U representing the history of the universe. One end represents the Big Bang, and the other end is an eye, looking back at the start. He argued that the universe is a self-excited circuit. Think about that. If reality requires an observer to collapse a wave function and make things definite, then the universe needed to evolve consciousness to make its own existence real. Without a mind to perceive it, the universe is just an unsolved equation floating in a void of probability. We aren't just watching the show. We are the ones who make the show happen, just by looking at it. But how does inanimate matter, dead atoms of carbon and iron, begin to know anything? For a long time, science treated consciousness as a ghost in the machine, something separate from physics. But new frameworks like integrated information theory, developed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi, suggest otherwise. IIT proposes that consciousness is a property of integration. When a system becomes so interconnected that the whole is fundamentally different from the sum of its parts, awareness emerges. It's not magic, it's architecture. And here is where it gets haunting. When astrophysicists map the cosmic web, the trillion light-year structure of dark matter in galaxies, the pattern is almost indistinguishable from the neural pathways of a human brain. We see the same clusters, the same filaments, the same distribution of nodes. As cosmologist Max Tegmark suggests, we might be self-aware substructures. We are the parts of the cosmic web that have become complex enough to look at the rest of the map and realize we are part of the drawing. We aren't just thinking about the universe. We are the universe, thinking about itself. There is, however, a price for this awareness. The second law of thermodynamics dictates that the universe is trending toward entropy, total disorder and heat death. Eventually, the stars will stop forming. The black holes will evaporate and the lights will go out. The universe spent 13.8 billion years building toward this moment of self-recognition. But it is doing so against a ticking clock. Life and consciousness are dissipative structures. We process energy and create order in a system that is fundamentally trying to fall apart. We are the universe's attempt to understand what it is, before it forgets. We spend so much of our time looking for meaning in the stories we create. But there is a profound reality we usually ignore, that after nearly 14 billion years of physics, chemistry, and biological evolution, the result is this exact moment. A piece of the cosmos is sitting in a chair, watching a screen, and finally recognizing its own identity. You are the recursive loop of the void. You are the moment the universe finally opened its eyes. You are the universe way of ensuring that its 13.8 billion year journey didn't happen in the dark. So next time you feel small or insignificant or lost in the chaos of your daily life, just remember, the universe is watching you, because the universe is you.